Okay guys, so what we were doing last week, if you remember, was trying to reduce our need for a metronome. This week, what we're going to have a go at is reducing the need to look at the guitar when we're playing. Now, probably a lot of you have done this at some point in your guitar playing, where you've had to curl your neck over and curl your back over to look at what you're doing on the guitar because of the fact that we play the guitar on our knee, and sometimes it's not always easy to see which string we're on. And that's totally fine when we're first starting out learning a piece. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to let that become a habit, because if we want to be able to play guitar for long periods of time and for years into the future, we don't really want to develop a habit of always having to hunch over the guitar like this when we play guitar. It's not good for our neck, it's not good for our back. The ideal situation, although it doesn't always have to be the case, you should always be able to have a look at the guitar. That's fine if you just need to quickly check where you are. But the ideal situation is to be able to play guitar without having to look at this hand or this hand at all, to just be able to do it entirely by feel. So we're going to start out trying to develop that skill today. So there's a 3-stage process that we're going to go through. So stage number 1, we're going to use the metronome in the same way that we were doing last week. We're going to remember we were halving the metronome to half of whatever our max speed was. Stage 1, we're going to play in the way that we feel comfortable playing. If that means that we have to curl over and look at the guitar, that's totally cool. What I would say is, if you do that, notice if you are doing that, number 1, and number 2, if you're doing that, how does it make you feel? Can you feel that weight of your head? Because your head is basically the heaviest part of your body. Can you feel the weight that it puts on your back and on your neck, and the weird way in which your body has to contort itself in order to make that work? So notice that. But don't worry about changing it just for now. Just for now, we're going to practice in the way that feels natural to you, but noticing if anything feels strange about the way that you hold yourself when you play the guitar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 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 3 and... Okay, so that was stage number 1. Stage number 2, I'm just going to pause metronome for a sec here. Stage number 2, we'll need you to do one of two things. Either practice in a mirror, if you've got one, or practice using a camera of some kind, a camera that you can see yourself in. So you can either use a phone or a tablet. You can do what I'm doing here and using my computer webcam in order to make that work. Basically anything where you don't have to look down to see what you're doing. You can look straight ahead and see what you're doing. So because I can see my guitar in my hands in this, I can figure out where I need to be. If you need to come a bit closer to kind of see where your hands are, that's of course fine, just so you can see which fret and which string you need to be on. So we want to be able to practice looking straight ahead, and the best way to do that is practice in a mirror, practice using your phone or a tablet or whatever, something where you can see yourself reflected back. So let's do the same thing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Okay. So stage number 2, looking straight ahead. Stage number 3, the most difficult stage, is to practice without looking at anything at all. Still keep a nice straight posture if you can, as if you were looking forward, but this time you can close your eyes or put a blindfold on, whatever feels more appropriate to you. It is a bit weird doing it with a blindfold on, so or you can just choose to not look at anything. You can just look up at the ceiling if it feels a bit scary to close your eyes. So let's try that one more time. And this time I'm going to close my eyes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah. Okay, so you'll probably find when you do that, you're going to make a mistake. So if you do, that's totally cool. Then you revert back to stage 2. Stage 2, if you remember, was practicing in a mirror or practicing with a camera. So we would then do it again, just to work on the feeling of how it feels under the fingers, because the feeling is really important for telling us if we're doing it right without looking at the guitar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 4. Okay, then you would do it again, looking straight ahead, and then you would try one more time with your eyes closed. And I'm taking my glasses off so you can prove to you I'm not cheating. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Got it wrong. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and see, even I can't do it. So this is a really good technique for getting better at playing the guitar in general, because if you can do things without looking at the guitar, you can focus on giving a better performance rather than thinking, oh, what note have I got to play next? So those are your 3 stages. So stage number 1, practice normally, but notice if your body is doing anything weird in order to make you able to play the guitar. Noticing is the most important thing. Stage number 2, practice with a reflection of some kind, either in a mirror or a camera, any kind of camera where you can see yourself reflected back. Stage number 3 is to try and do it with your eyes closed. And for that, you could again do something similar to what we did a few weeks ago, where you say, all right, I just want to be able to play the first bar without looking, with my eyes closed. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to be able to play bars number 1 and bars number 2 without looking. And build it up like that, because it might be quite daunting to try and do the whole thing without looking. So yeah, build it up in small little sections like we've been doing before. Cool. Hope that is fun and interesting for you guys, and helps you understand a bit more about how your body and your guitar relate to one another. Of course, if you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments. Send an email to Louise. You know the drill by now. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.